you know, another dangerous topic, which is, prescription drugs. And it made me think a lot. One of the most controversial ideas that I read on your book is how some of these psychotropic medications have become a means of social control, how they're being prescribed mostly for the poor, unemployed, and disenfranchised, quote unquote, like you say in Dopamine Nation. And that's something I've never heard before. And I would love for you to expand on that idea of, how these psychotropic medications became something that would be sold to people with lower resources.
Yeah. So, I guess to begin, I would just say that I do believe that psychotropics are overprescribed in the United States, that doctors in general don't appreciate the risks and overestimate the benefits. And in most people, many of these psychotropic drugs are really just only a little bit better than placebo or a sugar pill. In many people, they don't work at all, and they do have significant side effects. Some of them are highly addictive. And what is really disturbing, again, is if you look at the epidemiologic studies, which can be based on, sort of surveying people, but also some interesting new methods of study, for example, looking at wastewater or fecal matter, chemical contaminants, by zip code, right? What you see, whether you look at it by survey methods or, large data sets that are analyzed anonymously, or studies of waste matter, what you see again and again is that we are prescribing the most psychotropics, whether it's antidepressants, anxiolytics, antipsychotics, stimulants, opioids, you name it, that the kind of poor and undereducated and disenfranchised are more likely to be prescribed those in higher volume at higher doses, which is very concerning, because what it says is that, first of all, our medical infrastructure is designed to prescribe pills because it's fast and it's easy and it's lucrative. And we do know that, our healthcare system has essentially been co-opted in many ways by big business and big pharma. But it also says that we are selectively not offering poorer people the kinds of non-pharmacologic strategies that wealthier people have access to, like individual and group psychotherapy, or summer camps, or other exposure to nature, or gym memberships, or personal coaches, or physical trainers, or any number of things that we know can improve mental health without a pill.
Wow. Another question I had was, I keep thinking on the emergence of, Adderall, all of these prescription medicines, and I keep thinking that, my naive mind, my innocent mind keeps giving them the benefit of the doubt. It was a breakthrough drug, and all of a sudden it became exacerbated by the profits that were possible in terms of these people's minds. So where do you think that breakthrough moment happened, when these prescription medicines began as something useful, and now it seems that they're beginning to be used for profitable purposes?
Well, pretty much as soon as, the pharma industry entered the market, which really goes back hundreds of years. So if you look at, for example, Bayer aspirin, in the late 1800s, they announced the creation of a brand new drug that was going to solve the morphine epidemic. And they called it Heroisch, which is German for heroic. And they put it on the market right next to Bayer aspirin, and was recommended for, babies with coughs and Victorian housewives with headaches, and you name it. Well, Heroisch was heroin. And it very quickly, led to the narcomania of the early 1900s, and then became illegal in the first quarter century of the 1900s. So, that's almost as old as time. The way that that drugs in one form or another are sold, promoted, hawked as some kind of miracle cure, without evidence to support it, without an appreciation of the risks. But I think today, you know, what we have is such an efficient pharmaceutical industry. The technology has also allowed for ever more potent forms of these pharmacologic products. Our supply chain, you know, our global supply chain means that they can be shipped to every corner of the world, whether they're legal or illegal. And that's what's really changed things. It's the sheer quantity, potency, and access that we have to this really potentially dangerous pharmacopoeia that's altered, you know, the lives that we live today. I do want to add, however, that I'm very grateful that these medications exist. That I do think in some instances, when used safely and mostly short term, they can be life saving. So it's not that it's all bad, but it's just you know, the sort of just the casualness with which people now ingest things that they think are medicine. I recently traveled to Arizona and I got into, I was met by a driver who, you know, smelled like cannabis, and his car smelled like cannabis, and that was okay. It was very nice, but in the course of our drive together, he told me about his microdosing regimen and his psychedelics that he uses, you know, daily. He has little capsules that he gets from Amazon. He puts them in there and he doses them in the morning, doses them at night. I mean, what I found frightening about that was just like there's no evidence to support that, and yet he all on his own, without a doctor or without evidence, just sort of the internet, he's now putting these chemicals in his body without, you know, really appreciating whether or not they work and whether or not and how they might be harmful. So I think that's the concern. It's like it's just gone too far.
Yeah, and like you say, you know, we tend to consume our information on social media and on retweets and on viewership other than professional reviewed science. So